class. For today's video, we're going to be talking about complete sentences and what makes a complete sentence. So the first thing that we need to remember when writing complete sentences is the beginning of the sentence. Try and think, what goes at the beginning of a sentence? A capital letter. So let's write our sentence. Let's talk about going to school. So we start our sentence with the letter I, because I'm going to be writing a sentence about myself. The I is capitalized because it's at the beginning of the sentence. So let's write the sentence, I went to school on Monday. So here's our sentence right now. I went to school on Monday. There's something that's wrong with this sentence. It's really hard to read, isn't it? It's really hard to read because my words aren't spaced out enough. I have I went too close together, and then to school on looks like one big word. We can't have that. That's where we need to remember to use finger spaces. Whenever you're writing smaller, you should use one finger for your finger spaces in between your words, but since I have a big board and I'm writing big, I'm going to use two fingers. So I erased. We have I, finger space, went, finger space, to, finger space, school, on, finger space, okay, so now we have our sentence, I went to school on Monday, and it's all spaced out, and we have our capital letter at the beginning of the sentence. There's something else that we need to remember to do. What goes at the end of a sentence? There's a big, long, fancy word for it. It's called punctuation, and that's a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. In this case, we're just making a statement. We're not really that excited, and we're not asking a question, so we're just going to end it with a period. So we have, I went to school on Monday. Another thing about writing sentences is it's always best to use at least 5 words in your sentences. That way they reflect your complete thoughts, and they're not just, I went to school. We can make it a little bit more detailed than that. That's why I added on Monday. So let's count and see how many words we have. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 words. So that makes this, I went to school on Monday, a complete sentence. So let's talk about this sentence. We have, how was your day? What's the first thing you notice about this sentence? We need a capital letter in the front. This is the beginning of our sentence, and this H needs to be capital. So let's fix that. Now that we have our capital letter here, I underlined it. It says, how was your day? The next thing that we notice is these 2 words, was and your, are almost touching. We didn't use our finger spaces. So let's fix that. Okay, what's the next thing that we notice about this sentence? How was your day? Well, it's a complete sentence. It needs punctuation. What punctuation do we use whenever we're asking a question? We use a question mark. Okay, we have, how was your day with the question mark? There's one more thing wrong with this sentence. It's kind of tricky. We only have 4 words in this sentence. We need at least 5 to make a complete thought. So we could add, we'll have to erase our question mark. We could add, how was your day today? We can say, how was your day today? And then put our question mark. So now we have a capital letter. We have 5 words minimum. You can do more than 5 words, but you have to have at least 5 words. We have good spaces between our words, and we have our ending punctuation, which in this case is a question mark because we're asking a question. Okay, let's do one more sentence. Okay, we have our sentence, I am so excited to be here. Again, what's the first thing we notice? This is the beginning of our sentence, and it needs a capital letter. That has to be a capital I. Okay, So now we have our capital letter. I am so excited to be here. What's next? These are two different words, to and be, and they're too close together. They look like the same word. So we need to make sure we do finger spaces. Let's fix that. There. Now we can clearly see that to and be are different words. If we had them together, that would make a completely different word. So we have, I am so excited to be here. Do we have at least 5 words? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7. We have plenty of words. But I don't think we have the right punctuation. If we're talking about how excited we are to be somewhere, we want to put an exclamation mark, because an exclamation mark shows that we are excited about something or that we're saying something loudly. So we just have to add an exclamation mark. And now we have, I am so excited to be here. And our sentence is perfect. So when you're writing sentences, remember to use a capital letter at the beginning, to use 5 words at least in your sentence. Make sure that you remember to do your finger spaces on your papers. That way me or Mrs. Byrd know what you're trying to say, because if you put your words together, they look like the same word, and then we may not get what you actually mean. And finally, make sure to use the right punctuation, whether that's a period, a question mark, or an exclamation mark. Because if you don't have that at the end of your sentence, then it's not a complete sentence.